closing is pushing through somebody's basic resistance. People have a hard time making a big decision, whether it's reducing the price, eating the loss, buying a home, setting up an appointment to interview agents. You know, some of you guys and gals, you have a hard time figuring out what you're going to order if you go to a restaurant. You know, I can picture Julie, you being like that, because we've talked, I mean, I can picture Julie at the restaurant. Okay, you guys go order, I'm not quite sure yet, you know, I mean, I could just picture it. Meaning, making a decision, isn't it, Sandy, like that?
Oh.
Oh, well, listen, making a decision isn't easy. Okay, but that doesn't mean Julie doesn't want, you know, to order, and it doesn't mean Sandy doesn't want to eat. It doesn't mean they don't want the home. It doesn't mean they don't want to sell, or that they don't want to have to do whatever it's going to take. It's just a big decision. So sometimes our job is to, like a laser, like a Scorpio, you know, help somebody just get through the fact that there's some common resistance anytime there's a big decision to make. You know, listen, Mark, I know this is a big decision. Big decisions are tough to make. And this is one of the biggest you'll make in the next 5 to 7 years. This is the right home. We've looked at the, you know, the other homes that were available. We understand it's a great value. You're able to get it at the right price. This is just a tough decision. You need to go ahead and let's make an offer and get the process started. Thinking about it isn't going to help. You know, getting, you know, worried about whether it's the right decision isn't going to help. You're going to have that same problem anytime we find the right home. This is the right home. You know it, I know it. We just have to make the decision and go. The hardest part is making the decision. So sometimes closing is just helping people make a decision. Closing is pushing through, or being persuasive, I like to call it, is pushing through emotion. Sometimes people are just real emotional. And when people get emotional, it's hard for them to think. And when it's hard for them to think, it's hard for them to pull the trigger. And this is a big decision. Whatever it is you're dealing with, it's usually a big decision. So they're emotional. Maybe they raised their kids in the home and the husband just passed, and you know, the wife is not sure, you know, she knows she needs to sell the home. It's too much, it's too big, but you know, does it have to happen right now? They've been getting ready to get, I mean, it's emotional. Losing money is emotional. You want to talk about something that makes people nuts, money makes people crazy. You know, so, you know, talking about money, you know, makes people emotional. So closing, you know, is pushing through and helping somebody get through all the emotion. It's helping people get through delusion. Some people are delusional. You know, they've just got they need a reality check, and it's just continuing to stay on track till somebody realizes they're delusional. I mean, half of what we do is being a shrink sometimes. You know, and that's where it's usually repeating yourself. You know, the key to making an argument with price, for example, is the fact that if we were to keep the home at the current price, there are too many homes bigger, newer, and better than theirs for the same price. You know, the reason that home isn't selling isn't because it's worth $9.99. It's because for 1.3, them or any other buyer is going to pick a bunch of different homes that have so much more to offer, even if those homes might have been 1.6 in the past. Well, my home's worth 1.3. It may be, but when homes that are worth 1.6 are now for sale for 1.3, we've got to deal with that. So they're all delusional, and they can't, you know, understand why this isn't happening. I may have to keep bringing them back to what the competition is, and would they buy their own home at that price? And you know, may have to repeat myself 3 or 4 times. Well, let's just leave it here. We'll just try it a little bit longer. No, Sandy, leaving it here a little bit longer isn't going to help you accomplish your objective. Leaving it here a little longer isn't going to change the fact that at 1.3, there are 6 or 7 homes right now that you would yourself buy before you'd even consider yours. And when there's only one sale every quarter, you know, we're just not going to be able to sell off enough inventory. Waiting a little bit longer doesn't change your situation. It just delays you having to make a decision about it. My job is to help you make a decision. You need to drop the price to $9.99, and between now and the time we have an offer, figure out how you're going to make that work, or accept the fact that this has been a horrible financial decision because of the direction of the market, and you're going to have to carry this and lose that equity and lose that money for the next 5 to 7 years. You know, keep bringing them back because they're delusional until basically they tell me to take a hike, because the reality doesn't change simply because I won't let them change the subject. So we've got, you know, they're emotional, they're delusional, maybe there's just some basic resistance. Sometimes they're confused. You know, they're not quite sure. They've looked at so many homes, you guys have confused them. You're as confused as they are. They're not sure if they should look at some more. You know, you haven't made them feel strong enough about this is the one that's for them, because you don't want to be too pushy and act like, or, you know, all you want is the deal, which is never the case, but you don't want to feel that way. And so now they're thoroughly confused, and they don't even know if they should buy this home. They've looked at too many. Well, you know, first of all, you want to make sure that you strategically plan what you show so they're not confused when they see the right home. And we'll talk about that today. But, you know, closing is helping them understand, you know, through the confusion, that this is a logical decision. You know, based on what they've seen, the value of what they've seen, the features and benefits of the other properties, the price points of the other properties, and the diligence and the research they've done. This is the right home. And it's not only the right home for you, it's the right home for the next buyer that's going to come through this price range. You ever notice the good listings always sell whether you get them or not? Your good listings always sell whether the first buyer gets it or not. And the better the listing, the more likely it is to sell within the next couple of weeks. If you look at an entire price range and you've narrowed it down to the best home in the price range, what are the chances that home's going to be available in a couple of weeks? So, you know, it's helping push through some basic confusion they might have about whether this is the right property. So, when it comes to handling objections, or getting somebody to make an offer on the home, or getting somebody to sign at the listing appointment instead of having to follow up after, it really all boils down to, what are they trying to accomplish? What would you do if you were them? Whether it's a harsh reality or a good reality, and being persuasive and not just informative, because your job is to help people make decisions that are in their best interest, not just educate them and hope they somehow do the right thing.